today. Thank you, Kelly.
Sure.
Uh, so we'll start it off and just share just ground rules. Uh, but welcome to our Women Coders evening meeting where we're going to speak with Novia Lim today, where she's going to go over her journey from idea to app store and building and marketing an AI-powered skincare app. Novia Lim is a staff software engineer at Joby Aviation, and she's going to go over her journey as a solo founder. So the next slide, this is just general code of conduct. I'm not going to read all of it, so I'll give you a minute to just review. And if any questions or issues arise, feel free to email us at this Women Coders IO email, or you can DM me or Kelly on this call and we'll get that addressed. And from there, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to pass it off to Novia.
Let me find my unmute button first. I've got that. And all right. How's the screen looking for you guys?
Looks good.
Awesome. Thank you, Sasha. Okay, everybody, I'm Novia. Today, I would like to share a story about how I took HadaBuddy, an AI skincare app, from an idea to a shipped revenue generating app completely solo. No team, no funding, no co-founder, just me, night times and weekends. Um, Today I'm going to walk you through how it got built and shipped, the engineering, the trade-offs, the mistakes. But the real thing I want you to live with is this. Building the app was the easy part. The hard part came after. And that's the part where most engineers, including myself at first, completely underestimate. So stick around. Quick intro about me. I'm a staff engineer and team lead by day, solo founder by night. I'm not a mobile dev by training. I will walk you through the build and just as importantly, the distribution. Little more background about me. By day, I lead and help build web solutions at Joby Aviation. If you don't know, Joby makes eVTOL, you can see from my background, which is an electric aircraft that takes off and lands vertically, so air taxis. So my day job is pretty much building web softwares for flying cars. Um, the detail that matters tonight, I'm a web engineer. I am not a mobile engineer. Before HadaBuddy, I've never shipped an iOS app in my life. I knew React, I knew web stacks, and that was it. I did learn React Native back when I was in school, and I mostly work alongside with AI while I was building this. And I still got it into the App Store live in 24 days, website and blog by day 30, first paying customer by week 7. Before HadaBuddy, also on the side, I built an AI content brand called AI Baby Talks. It's now currently at over 146,000 followers with over 65 million total views. So the TLDR of my learning is I can build a product and I can get people to actually find it. And just so it's said out loud, I did all of this around a pretty demanding full-time job, nights, early mornings, weekends. I remember during one of our monthly lunch session, one of our peers was asking me, how am I doing all this? Um, I'm sharing with all of you here because if you're sitting there thinking you don't have time to build the thing in your head, I built this in the cracks. The constraint actually helped. When you have limited amount of time, you stop polishing and you execute and ship. So 24 days. That was exactly how long it took me from an idea to a live app in the App Store. And I put that up big on purpose. We all often overestimate how long it takes to build anything. And I did too. I assume an app was a 2 to 3 months project, and it wasn't. And once again, I'm not some mobile expert speed running something I already knew. Um, I'm a web engineer learning a new platform in real time, shipping ugly things, fixing them on the fly. And 24 days is how long it took HadaBuddy to be approved on the App Store. Here's a actual journey snapshot of it. Day 24, the app is live. Day 30, the full website and blog are up. Week 7, we get our first paying customer. But the very first thing I shipped was not the app at all. It was a waitlist site. Week 1, before I've written most of the app, there was a real page at hadabuddy.com with a sign up form, very simple sign up form. And behind it, there's a Superbase table collecting emails. I use Resend that sends a confirmation email when you join, and a little simple admin dashboard where I could see sign-ups and export the users. And that was the whole first build, a landing page and an email capture system. Uh, so why start there? There are two reasons. One, if it told me if anybody actually wanted this before I sank a whole month into building it. If nobody even bothers signing up for the wait list, it's a cheap and fast no. I'll probably just save myself a full month. Two, it meant that on launch day, I wasn't shouting into an empty room. There was a list of people who already raised their hand, and the waitlist site later grew into a full marketing website with the blog, which is the home base for everything. But it started off as the simplest possible things to do, right? Do you want this? Yes, no, leave your email. So also notice the order because I did it on purpose and I'll keep coming back to it. The marketing came up alongside with the product, not after. I was not head down for 6 months building in secret, planning to figure out growth at the very end. The website, the audience, and the app were all moving at the same time. By the time the app shipped, there were already people waiting for it. The ordering is one of the most important reasons why this worked. Okay, this number is from a different project, AI Baby Talks. It's a solo AI content account I grew to 65 million views. That's where I learned distribution and why HadaBuddy was built distribution first. I built it solo with AI tools, almost as an experiment to see how fast one person could grow an audience from scratch. So short, funny baby content, big personality, very shareable. And it taught me one of the most important lessons I know about building products. Making content is basically almost free now. Uh, AI dropped the cost of creation to pretty much almost nothing. So creation is no longer the bottleneck anymore. The bottleneck is attention. Getting one real human to stop scrolling and watch your thing, that's the hard part. And it's the part that decides whether a consumer product lives or die in the void. And it also taught me the mechanics. Running the account, I learned that what makes someone stop scrolling in the first half second, 2 seconds, and what makes them watch to the end, and how each social media platform behaves. How often do you have to post before anything catches? And that's not soft marketing stuff, that's a feedback loop. The same as any system, you only will learn it by shipping a lot and analyzing the data behind it. So when I started HadaBuddy, I did not treat marketing as a thing I deal with later. I've already learned with this AI Baby account that distribution is not the side quest. It is the main quest. So I built HadaBuddy with that baked in from day one. Most engineers would do the opposite. And that's why most good product might just die quietly. And when you build alone, you have three jobs. You don't get to skip any one of them. Okay, you are the builder, you make the product, and you go get the audience. And let's be honest for a second. Most of us in this room, we love the first two, and we're good at them. They're satisfying, they come easy to us. So the third one, the audience, that's the one we quietly hope that it just sorts itself out. If the product is good enough, people would come. But in reality, it doesn't. So a good product with no distribution is like a tree quietly falling in an empty forest. And the third job is exactly where a lot of solo product fail. So I structured tonight around all three, and I'm going to spend a good amount of time on the one we all want to avoid. So part one, every product needs a catalyst, a pain point, and mine was painful. For me, it started off as a personal problem on my literal face. So here's what happened. Okay, two of the skincare products I already own and use. There's a Korean toner and a skincare serum, a vitamin C serum. Both of them said gentle right on the label, and both of them were totally fine on their own. But together, they actually started wrecking my skin barrier. Every morning, my face was red and a little bit irritated, and I couldn't quite figure out why. Two gentle products. How? So I did the obvious thing. I Googled, I chat GPT, Grok, whatever AI platform you're using. I opened like every app I could find. Yuka, Think Dirty, all of them. And every single one of them could tell me one thing, whether a product is good or bad to buy. Not one of them at the time when I was researching could tell me that two of the things that's already sitting on my shelf were the problem when combined together. So here's a gap. Every app is a shopping tool, and none of them help me with what I already own. The gap is the entire reason why HadaBuddy was created. So I mapped the gap. Once again, most apps tells you what to buy. None of them actually tell you how to really use what you already own or catch the conflicts. That column on the right is HadaBuddy. And this is the lesson I would like to share with anybody who is building solo. You cannot win by being broader or better funded. You will lose that fight. You win by finding the one area that nobody is feeling and owning it completely. Narrow and deep beats broad and shallow when you're one person. Part two, the build. So, how do you actually ship a real app in under a month? With a full-time job, having a kid, and in a language you kind of just learn. There are three rules, and these are honestly the big reason HadaBuddy shipped. Uh, One, honest trade-offs. I built exactly what the user needed and cut everything else. No clever abstraction for problems I didn't have. No architectural design for a million users I didn't have either. Number two, use the tools that you already know. And this is a hard one for good engineers because we all love the perfect stack. So some real examples. Everybody says use Zastan or Redux for state. I use simple React context because I knew it cold. Everybody said use a proper local database on mobile. I simply use Supabase over the network instead because I didn't want to deal with synchronization. And I already knew it. The styling library everybody reaches for on React Native is Native Win. It was unstable when I was setting it up, so I used plain style sheets. None of this are the correct answer on paper, but all of them were correct for me at that time when I was building it. Because the perfect tool, you're still debugging at midnight, is worse than the boring tools that already works. Number three, done beats perfect. Shipping is what starts the feedback loop. Perfect app sitting on your laptop teaches you nothing. A scrappy app in real hands teaches you everything, and momentum is the actual asset. Protect it harder than you protect code quality, at least at the very start. And be really concrete about what actually shipped in that month. So you don't think it's just a toy. In HadaBuddy, you scan a product, either the barcode or the label itself, with the on-device OCR, reads the ingredients list off the back of the bottle, matches against the database, flags conflict for your specific skin type, and it builds you like a 7-day morning and night routine out of the product you already own. The routine generation runs on Gemini. Conflict rules constraining what is allowed to suggest. So it's not just like a LLM hallucinating, freestyling skincare advice. And that's the full loop. Scan, analyze, routine, built in under a month by someone who has never touched commercial mobile product. And here's a move that I'm really proud of. Let's look at the order again. Okay, step one, I launched the marketing website with a wait list. Step two, started collecting an audience. Step three, only then the app went live to people who were already waiting. I had that website up before Apple even approved the app. And there was a real page, a real sign up, real people on the list, while the actual product was still in review. And most engineers do this exactly backwards. We build the whole product in private, we polish it and polish it and polish it, we launch it, then we hear crickets and we are confused because the product is good. But the product being good was never the question. Nobody knew it existed. So I flipped the order. The website was the home base before there was even an app to send people to, audience first. So if you remember one slide from tonight, take this slide. But it was not all smooth. Okay, let me share my story about being rejected because the fix is the interesting part. I submitted, Apple said no. The reason was I wasn't being clear enough with users before sending their personal information to an AI model. And honestly, that was fair because the app uses AI on things like your skin type and your ingredients list. And Apple wants explicit consent before any of that leaves your phone. So I treated it as an engineering problem, not a paperwork one. Three pieces. First, an AI intro screen during onboarding, so it's upfront, not buried. Second, an explicit consent toggle that the user controls and can turn it off later. And third, this is the part that I think matters for a lot of us in this room, a guard in the code. Every AI call routes through one piece, and that place checks consent first. If the user haven't said yes, the call never happens. So it's not a checkbox sitting in the settings menu hoping someone respects it. It's enforced at the layer where it actually matters in the code path itself. We submitted a few times. It finally got approved, went live. And I have to say, the rejection did make the product genuinely better. It was not easy navigating the rejection, but it was really, really good learnings. Number three, the mode. This is the part where I think HadaBuddy makes it hard for anybody just to copy over a weekend. Behind HadaBuddy, there is a growing database with over 250,000 products built from zero. Let's think about what the scanner actually has to do. You point your phone at basically any skincare in your bathroom, and the app has to know what it is pretty much right away. That doesn't work very well without a serious database underneath it. You can have the prettiest, flashiest UI in the world. If the scan returns nothing, the app is pretty much useless. So before any of the fun stuff, I had to build the boring, enormous thing, the data. And here's how it works under the hood. On the left, I aggregated from multiple public sources, Open Beauty Facts, EWG, Alta, Hwahe, which is the biggest Korean review platform. Different formats, different views, different languages. The hard part is in the middle. Real product data, if you have dealt with data before is a big mess. The same product shows up five different ways across five sources, different spelling, different packaging, different ingredients in different orders. So there is a fuzzy layer that reconciles all of that noise into a clean record per product. The matching layer is actually most of the actual engineering. And then there's the Korean problem, which I actually care a lot about because I use a lot of Korean products. The Huahei data had products in their real Korean names, and matching a Korean product to its English ingredient list is genuinely pretty challenging. The names don't transliterate cleanly. The same brand romanized multiple different ways. So I ran a backfill to attach native Korean names to the catalog, about like tens of thousands of products. So a Korean user can search the way they actually think in Korean and still get the full ingredient list. Any users can point to a Korean product and still get the English version with full ingredients list back. That's the kind of thing that I think and I know big Western apps just don't bother with. And that's a real reason why K-beauty users will pick HadaBuddy as well. So now the scanning part, because that's where data meets the end user. And it's harder than it sounds. You point your phone at a product, the actual bottle, a jar sitting in a bathroom. There's two ways it identifies it. The barcode, which is fast and exact, where the product has one and is in the database, and on-device OCR, which reads the text of the packaging, the product name, the ingredients straight from the label. This has to work with like on a curved bottle and in bathroom lightings, sometimes in a pretty tiny font, and often in different languages. Once it knows what the product is, it pulls the full reconciled ingredients list from the database. The OCR runs on device, which keeps it fast and keeps the data on your phone. And I cache aggressively, three tiers altogether. We have memory caching, then the disk, and then the database. So the second time you scan something, it's pretty much instant. The app is not hammering any database, any network. None of this is glamorous, and it makes all the difference because the app feels magic in between an app that feels slow and broken. There's a lot of thought that you put on top of it. And on top of all this, there's the brain. Okay. You're looking at, actually funny, behind all of this, that's the brain. There's over 150 ingredient conflict rules, each with a severity badge. And that's the layer that would have caught my toner and vitamin C disaster before it ever touched my skin. It also reads Korean brand in their own native language, which Western apps that we see right now generally are pretty bad at. So let's look at the vault on the right. The whole database is locked down with row level security. Direct database access is revoked. Everything goes through control access with limits because 250,000 reconciled product is the actual asset here. And a competitor scraping it would erase months of work overnight. The mode only counts if you protect it. Part 4. This is the part I think is the hardest, at least for me, distribution. The instinct is I post on social media and hope it works. No, I build distribution like infrastructure. The same way I built a system with two own assets. First asset, we have 119 blog articles and growing, real research, actual useful articles answering exact questions people type into Google about skincare. Can I use retinol with vitamin C? What goes first? Niacinamide, moisturizer. When someone searches that, I want them landing on HadaBuddy's blog. That's a search intent captured deliberately. Second asset, and this is the part where I think is the move for 2026 and beyond. There's a glossary of 40,000 ingredients with proper schema markup. And I did not just structure it for Google O crawlers. I structured it so that ChatGPT and Google's AI answer can read it, understand it, and quote it directly. Ship it together with llm.txt files with automatic ping so AI crawlers can find the content fast. And here's the bet. More and more people don't just search, they ask an AI platform. So when someone asks ChatGPT a skincare question, I want HadaBuddy to be the source it pulls the answer from. That's distribution engineered into a product as code, the same skills you use all day pointed at getting found. The whole content operations runs like a system with monitoring, not just me posting and hoping. And that's the difference. You can treat marketing as vibes, or you can treat it as a system with input, output, and dashboard. I treat it like a system. Third, the distribution layer. And this is where the previous AI baby experience paid off. Video as code. That's a problem. The video that works for me are full of branded graphics, product scorecards showing ingredients breakdown, good ingredients count, bad ingredients count, overlays. Everything's consistent. If I design every one of those cards by hand in a design tool, I'll never be able to keep up. So I don't. I generate them with code. I use Remotion, which lets you build graphics in React, which I'm already familiar with. The agent feeds in the product data, the brand, the ingredients count, the conflicts, and it renders all the scorecard and overlays for that video automatically on brand every time. Every video gets a render script and out comes a batch of finished graphics. Then those generated assets get dropped into the actual video edit with the footage, with the voiceover, like any normal video. The code part isn't the whole video, it is the asset factory feeding the video. This results in about a 90% cut in the slowest, most repetitive part of video creation workflow. As one person, I can put out content at a volume that normally take a small team plus a designer. That is leverage. AI and code turn me into a powerful content team of one that usually takes more people. At the moment, this is not fully automated yet, but it is also good because I would like to quality control each content that goes out. Part 5, results. The honest milestone, what all this actually produce, the good and the genuinely scary. So 3 things happened in about 2 weeks. And together they told me this was real. May 12th, the scary one. I opened up my email first thing in the morning. I was on a work trip and there was a cease and desist letter from a competitor. If you've never gotten one as a solo founder, it's a pretty big gut punch. I felt small, I felt alone, and I started questioning the whole thing. Okay, but fortunately that morning I did not spiral. Immediately I put down the article they pointed to. I handed the legal response, and all of that same day, that morning, within 2 hours, done, survive. May 18, the good one. First paying subscriber, $40.96 appeared in my App Store dashboard. I know it's not real big money yet, but it was also everything. A complete stranger paid me for a thing I made from an idea. 0 to 1. The system works. And May 27, the one that made it feel a little bit more legitimate. First digital publish press interview. Someone outside my own channel decided this was worth covering. Scary, good, legitimate, all in 2 weeks. And then this happened just last week. I was doing this slide deck last week as well. The engine broke through. First HadaBuddy viral video, day 82. I checked my phone and one of the video taken off. And I have to be honest about which one. It was a little funny. It wasn't a sleek product demo. It was a very simple, pimple popping video with a HadaBuddy mascot reacting to it. At this point, I think we have like over 680,000 views. Under the funny part is the real deal. For months, I've been building this whole distribution machine, the blog, the AI optimization, the video pipeline, mostly on faith, with no proof that it will ever pop. That this was the proof. It can break through organically and the machine works. And the thing that broke through wasn't the super polished one, it was the weird, funny human one. And that's the lesson I'm still sitting with. That's actually a good data point. If one video breaks through, find what's similar, keep producing it. So if you take like one engineering idea out of this room, make it this. A lot of us, we are trained to write code for the product, and obviously that's a job. But you can also write code for the marketing, for the distribution. The exact same instinct that built a good app, automating things, thinking in system, building pipeline, designing for scale, all of that is a superpower the moment you point it at getting an audience. Code for the product to solve the problem, code for the pipeline to find the people. Most engineers would only build the first one. The whole unlock here, the thing that made HadaBuddy worked was building both. The blog, the AEO, the video pipelines, those are engineering projects. I just aim them at distribution instead of features. And if you forget everything else I said tonight, keep this too. Audience first, don't build in secret and hope. Doesn't work. Start gathering people before the product is even done. Go ahead, put content, the website, social media posts before the product. And done beats perfect. The shipped, slightly embarrassing MVP version will teach you more in a week than the perfect version sitting unreleased for a full year on your machine. So, what's next for HadaBuddy? Android. So it's not just iOS only. I promise friends and users that I will spend time on shipping the Android version. Once HadaBuddy hits 1,000 downloads, I think now it's close to 300 downloads as we're talking. And I would like to move on with scaling the video workflow system a little bit more now that I know that it actually works and hardening the database even more. I think there's still a lot of opportunities to protect the database even more. But here's why I call this a blueprint and not just a story. None of it required a team. None of it required big funding. None of it required being an expert in the thing I built. Remember, I'm a web engineer who had never shipped a mobile app before. What it required was persistence and the tools that's already sitting in front of pretty much everybody in this room, and a willingness to lead with an audience instead of hiding behind a product. And it's surprisingly affordable. People sometimes assume this kind of thing costs a fortune to run. It doesn't. And you can actually execute it with a handful of almost free or near free tier products. Supabase, Vercel, the AI APIs, Apple developer account. The expensive part for me was time, not money. So all the barriers you're imagining, the funding, the team, the perfect timing, mostly isn't real. If I can do this, you can do this. That's the actual point. So I'd like to leave you with the question I had asked myself. What's the idea that you've been sitting on? And what could you actually launch by yourself in the next 30 days? Not the perfect version, the real one, the messy ship in front of real people one. The tools are all right there. It honestly just comes down to starting. Now, go ahead, build the product, build the pipeline, find your audience. HadaBuddy started off as a skincare app and for me to learn more about AI. But the lesson turned out to be way bigger than skincare. Nobody, you don't need perfect timing. You don't need a big team. You don't need the perfect stack. You need momentum, honest trade-off, and a way to keep learning from real people. Thank you so much. I'm Novia. My LinkedIn is up there. I really, really appreciate the invite to share this. And anybody who likes to connect with me, drop me an invite. Any
Thank you so
questions?
much, Novia. Yes, I feel like there will be a lot of questions, mostly because it's so multifaceted, but I will leave it open and save my questions.
Oh, it's so cute. I see familiar faces. Jim Valley.
Well, I'll throw out a question. I mean, I'm blown away, 100% blown away. This is insane, incredible, amazing. Congratulations. Tell me how the name came about, please. I'd love to know that.
Okay. Oh, I actually should put in a slide here. It's interesting. Before you build any product, please spend a good amount of time to think about a name. Make sure you take all the domain name and check that social media platform accounts are available. That's the actual very first step. It was an idea. I don't know why at night is the time I get the most inspiration. I will get an idea pop up as like, oh, I need this domain name. Are all the social media platforms available? Hada is skin in Japanese,
Ah.
and Buddy is actually my dog's name.
Oh,
That's awesome.
So your skin buddy is an app that's your skin buddy, and in the app itself, there is also like a skin advisor, which is your buddy, and you can ask it question, and it will be like, "Hey, girlfriend."
The vibe is very fun in there, Novia. I downloaded it and I scanned my lip balm, which it didn't, I mean, which is like maybe outside of the uh like realm of, but it gives you the option to like add it.
Correct, correct.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, wow, this is really like so impressive.
Hmm.
I eagerly
My
await the Android version.
Oh, look at that, Novia,
I'm one
audience.
of those.
my girlfriend was literally just like texting me every time because she's using the Android. It's like, could you check the ingredients for me? I was like, sure.
Oh.
Awesome.
I had
Story,
a
I see you went
question.
on me.
Yeah, I had a question about the database because you were saying that the database is what you feel like keeps other people from being able to just copy the product. Um, how long, and because I think you said you started with the database before you started with the app
Pretty much together because
together.
I had like multiple agents helping me like collect data from public sources,
Okay.
and it just there is a lot of products out there. Then I tried to scrap more and more and
Uh-huh.
aggregate more and more. Then it came to the challenge on, oh, now I have multiple sources and all the data
Right.
looks very different.
Of course.
Um, and the funny thing is, before I was a software engineer for almost 9 years now, I was actually a data analyst for more than 10 years.
Ah.
So when I saw the amount of data, I was like, oh, it's actually way more manageable right now with AI.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually like point them, start collecting the data, and use AI to start reconcile all the differences.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing that actually I'm interested to do is to pull in Japanese product.
Yeah.
So now we
Yes.
have English products, we have Korean products, and the Korean products came because I did a trip to Korea last year in November, and I bought so many products that I probably don't remember. And I have so many samples and products in the house that I can literally like research and put into my database as well.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because Korean skincare is all the hype right now, or at least it has been for a while. And then the caching part, when you were talking about the caching, that you're caching in multiple layers, did you specifically tell the AI when you were starting that you wanted it to cache at different layers, or were you telling it to be responsive, or what kind of prompt were you saying?
I will tell you my real life story. I was
Okay.
really excited. The app was like, I don't remember if the app was approved, but I took my app to Sephora
Uh-huh.
and I started scanning things, right? And it was so slow. Literally, when I have the product in my phone already, I scan it again. I wanted to like, oh, let's do like a real field trip to test out the product.
Yeah.
I was standing in Sephora scanning the app and I was waiting and goofing around. It was so slow. Even the same product was slow because it was hitting like the model and waiting.
Uh-huh.
Then
Uh-huh.
I realized it was not realistic. And caching was, what I really have to build into the app.
Hmm.
Now it doesn't hit the model right away. If it captures it on OCR, hits the database, it finds it. There's, it doesn't even hit Gemini at all.
Oh, okay.
And it's so quick. The time, if you scan a product 2 times,
Hmm.
if you delete off your product and scan it again, it's cache on the system.
Right.
You'd be
So,
like,
but
whoa,
I mean
this is
that like when
magic.
after you were at Sephora, because this is great. So you're at Sephora, it's really slow. You go back home and you realize you need to modify it. Are you telling it that you want to add caching, or are you telling it you want it to be faster and it's telling you to add caching?
I actually know that caching is quite
Okay.
important, so I did give it some clues. But I believe if you tell AI what you need,
Hmm.
it should be able to tell you like caching is what you need as well.
Okay. That's
Mm.
pretty cool. No, that's really good because that's part of it too is like developers. I think that's kind of the niche that we have that's a little bit better than people that have never developed anything with computers is that we know certain things. We know things about databases. We know things about caching. We kind of know some gotchas, and I think that helps have the back and forth discussion with the AI. So that's really cool.
Ooh. Actually, before I stop sharing, if you guys want the LinkedIn link, capture it so I can see faces on my screen.
It's also shared on the comment section in case you want to click there. Um, I'm going to share a couple upcoming events, but I have a lot of questions. But let's go through some upcoming events first. So, if anyone needs to drop before time is up, they can see these. Okay, so these will be quick, and then we can go back to the questions. Just I wanted to shout out a couple upcoming events. We do have an in-person one this Saturday with Kelly and I hosting a coffee and stroll at Liberty Station. There's details on the meetup description. We have done this one before, and it has really easy parking, and you get to walk along the harbor and have a really good time and get some coffee beforehand. So if you're interested in an in-person event, this Saturday there is one. And next is our monthly lunch chat, which happens every second Tuesday of the month. And this is where we actually first heard about HadaBuddy. At our last lunch chat, Nova brought up HadaBuddy, and we're like, wait, we need to know more about this because there's so much going into it. Like, what is the blueprint to this? Especially when you're in your niche of development and not understanding how to build out this system for even distribution and marketing. So, if you want discussions like that, take a look at our lunch chat and we can discuss topics like this and have cool events come out. And lastly, if you're interested in volunteering, hosting a coffee and stroll, or doing a talk like Novia, I'll leave this QR code up. But that's all I had, and we can get back to the questions. Uh, One that I had is there is a lot that has gone into HadaBuddy, from development, the moat to marketing. And I'm wondering how much of that you knew beforehand. Was it your experience with your Baby Talk app that helped inform how you had this blueprint for HadaBuddy?
Um, I always would encourage anybody, especially now with AI. It sounds wrong, but it's right too. Like, don't think too much, don't overthink, execute. Then it gets clearer. I didn't think about is this gonna work? People were telling me App Store is hard to navigate, mobile apps, like all my mobile developers is like, really? You're gonna do this? So I didn't quite like think about all this. It's like, am I an expert in this? No. But am I gonna try it? Yes. And I had multiple different projects or ideas that I was executing. If you look at my domain list, I have like so many ideas I was building, and I was like, oh, not quite there. And then it's just executing, 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 and always do things that is close to your own heart, your own personal pain point. That's the part that I feel like it helps you persevere through certain things. One new idea I'm currently tinkering on. It's a little bit more challenging though, but my personal experience, if parents, we have parents here, there's a new hyped tool called Needles.
Is
It's a squishy stress ball.
that? Oh, I
I was
have
Oh
seen those.
yeah.
I
Yes.
was telling my coworkers today about this hype tool. So my son is all about this thing right now. There's different designs, and I tried purchasing them online, and it was mission impossible.
Hmm.
Cannot get them because there's bots and snipers online that I have a notification system that I signed up for and I still couldn't get them online. So I got really frustrated. I was like, how can I build myself something that will help me solve this problem? I tried to do it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of blockers, like all the LLMs model that I was asking says that, hey, we could help you do certain things, but there's certain things that's like off limits. It's like not very legal or it gets blocked, yada yada. But if I didn't try it, I wouldn't know it's challenging. So whatever you guys have on your head, go and try it out.
Love it.
I'm glad that you're encouraging the ideas and writing them down and visiting them. I think sometimes we get all overwhelmed with building out our AI and making it perfect and doing this and not even thinking about distribution or talking ourselves out of it. So I feel very inspired here. I am inspired by you doing this as a solo person. I'm looking at this project, I'm like, this could be 10 people. And the fact that you did it in this time period is really cool. And I'm really glad you're sharing this with us because you're just naming off a bunch of tools. I'm like, oh man, I need to look into Remotion. Like, how does that make videos? And how did you set this up as code and create this flywheel? Like, that's wild to me. But it is interesting, and I want to know how that works. And
There are so many new and upcoming tools, and I think the real learning comes from our self-executing projects. Like I see, it's really funny. My entertainment is social media because it feeds me data and information, and I know what's up and coming and new, which is ironic in the sense like I don't really watch TV, but I have to be on social media to see what content I should generate, and that's
Mhm.
entertainment.
That's so cool. I feel like you can easily just go on social media and just scroll forever and not use it for anything. So the fact that you're turning doom scrolling into entertainment and content is really cool.
Also one part that it's funny when I started out this project, I'm not saying that you have to build everything solo, but the
Hmm.
experiment was how far I can push being a solo developer. There are friends who reached out saying, hey, Novia, do you want to do something together? I was like, not for this project because I really want to see how far I can push.
Yeah, you got really far, I would say.
Ooh, I think I got a third sale yesterday or today. I was looking at it. I was like, oh, more sale came in.
I
I feel like
guess
you could be with this experience, you could be a consultant to the solo app builder.
Yeah.
You, you know.
I
I
I
agree with Shirley.
I don't know because like our time is so limited, and I feel like the most valuable thing I gathered from this is just the pure learning from it. So the consulting part would be interesting too because that's like a new thing I've never done before, but that takes up a lot of time. So
Or even
I'm
if
still tinkering with like, am I going after the dollar signs, which is not
Mm,
really, or am I going after just keeping up with AI tools by executing? That's the part I'm really, really interested in. Given that if I know the tools pretty well and I can like copy and paste 0 to 1 many different projects, I think that's pretty solid altogether.
I just feel
I
like you're
feel
such a, like a wealth of information from, learning by doing, even if it was like a downloadable guide, all the, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
From AI Baby Talks, I did sell a handful of digital guides. I was I don't know. I don't have fun creating digital guides, but I was like, hey, how do I earn money from it? It's like, sure. Uh, the portion of I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ikigai. I don't remember the 4 parts. One of the part is like do what you are good at, do what the world needs, and one of the part is actually do what uh gets you paid. I forgot the fourth part.
mm.
Of course, I forgot the fourth part. But the whole spectrum altogether is ikigai, which is the reason for being. It's a Japanese concept.
I've
We
heard
should,
of this.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I've been
we
to
should find
lectures on
someone
this.
to talk about ikigai next time.
That's awesome.
I do like how in the beginning you mentioned that you were driven by momentum. And I feel like it's clear, like you talking about, like, okay, this is what I'm interested in, and like it's given me this much motivation and energy towards this versus like, oh, I did these digital guides, not really my forte. But yeah, there's so much that you've learned that I feel like I like in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that even like sections of this, it's just like really cool to even understand. But just hearing you put all of these tools together has been really cool because a lot of times I feel like overwhelmed with the amount of AI coming out and keeping up. So the fact that you've been able to turn this into something cool and something you're interested, makes me feel a little more positive about this. So thank you so much for sharing, Novia. We have 2 more minutes. If anyone has any dying questions they want to ask Novia before we're out of time.
Thanks, Claire.
Think I'll just add what you said about like get something working out there. Like just get it out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Makes me think of what I say, each day when we're working on software, you want to make it work first, then you make it right, then you make it fast. That's kind of like our motto at our company. And it really, you spoke to that. I could like sense that, type of, you know, um kind of bar that it's like set the bar here so that you actually get something out there. So that was really cool.
The fun part is like when now I was asking my brother-in-law just recently, he's like, do you have a personal website? And he's like, no. I was like, get on a call with me. I'd be like, all right, give me your resume, let's do this. And then it's like, open a repo, give me permission. All right, PR's committed. You do this, you do this, you do this. I expect you to execute this and ship this out by today.
Oh
I
my gosh.
It's
love it.
totally doable, totally
Yeah.
doable.
Totally.
Yeah, now I was like, I need to do my personal website.
I wanted to wait for Fable 5 to come back. If not, I'm not willing to use the current model to rebuild my website.
Oh.
I had it for 2 days and then it got blocked like
Yeah.
everyone else did.
Womp
I,
womp.
I was running it halfway, and then I was like, "Ooh, let's let it run," right? And I went to SeaWorld with my son, and
Oh
I came back,
no,
and it got blocked.
Oh.
that's heartbreaking. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We'll try again.
We are at 7, and I want to respect everyone's time. I know you guys have joined after work or after a busy day. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Novia, for having this and sharing your wealth of knowledge, and continuing, this little discussion from lunch chat into a full-blown presentation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.